In the shadow of history's most enigmatic families, one name lingers like a whisper in the dark. The Rothschilds. Their legacy is not just wealth, but power, influence, and a quiet revolution that reshaped the world. For over 2 centuries, they built empires from the ground up. Banking, politics, and even the arts, all while remaining behind closed doors, guarding their secrets like a fortress. This isn't just about money anymore. It's about legacy, about how a family that once controlled the flow of capital is now trying to shape the future of finance, power, and influence in ways that defy tradition. And as they do, the world watches, not with awe, but with curiosity, suspicion, and a growing sense that the Rothschilds may be on the verge of something far greater than they ever imagined. So what exactly are we talking about? It's not about wealth, it's about power. The Rothschild family's Royal Reserve is a financial institution that operates under the radar, shaping global markets with precision and influence. These reforms aren't just about money, they're about control. The Royal Reserve has been quietly restructuring its operations, shifting focus from traditional banking to strategic investments that influence political and economic decisions. These changes are part of a larger strategy to maintain influence in an era of rising transparency and digital scrutiny. The Royal Reserve is adapting, rethinking its methods to stay relevant in a world that's changing faster than ever. So, when we talk about the Rothschilds' Royal Reserve reforms, we're not just talking about financial strategy. We're talking about the quiet shaping of the world's future, behind closed doors and under the weight of history. You might not know the names of these families, but their influence is etched into the very foundation of modern economies. Every decision they make, every policy they support, shapes the world you live in, often without you even realizing it. When they reform their reserves, they're not just changing the rules of the game. They're reshaping the playing field. It's not just about wealth, it's about power, and power has consequences that ripple far beyond their palaces. These reforms could tilt the balance of global finance, affecting everything from your local economy to your access to resources. The stakes are higher than you think, and the players are not who you expect. It's not just about what they do with their money. It's about what they choose to ignore. The decisions they make today could determine the future of countless lives, including yours. So, yes, it's true. This is about more than just wealth. It's about who controls the future, and how that future is shaped by the unseen hands of those who sit in the shadows. The Rothschild family began their ascent in the late 1700s, when Mayor Amschel Rothschild built a banking empire across Europe, laying the foundation for the dynasty that would shape modern finance. By the 1830s, Nathan Rothschild had become a financial power, controlling the British government's finances and wielding influence over the British Empire's economy from his London home. The family's reach extended into the royal courts of Europe, where they became trusted advisors, often working behind the scenes to shape political and economic decisions. Through wars, revolutions, and financial crises, the Rothschilds adapted, using their vast network to control capital flows and maintain their influence over global markets. Their legacy is not just wealth, but a complex web of power, influence, and secrecy that has shaped the modern world in ways both seen and unseen. So, imagine you have a big, fancy toy box. You really love it, and you keep adding more and more toys to it. But one day, you realize you're not just playing with the toys anymore. You're also making rules about how the toys are used. Now, you decide that some toys can only be played with by certain people, and you make sure everyone knows the rules. You even write them down so no one can forget. You realize that the toy box isn't just about the toys. It's about how people share and use them. And that's what makes it special. It's not just about the things you have, but how you make sure they work for everyone. So the core idea is this. It's not just about having something, but about making sure it works for everyone, and that means sometimes changing the rules to make it better. The first step in understanding Rothschild's Royal Reserve is to look at the foundation. It begins with a small, private group of family members, each holding a piece of the legacy they inherited. This is not just wealth, but a shared history, a chain of responsibility. The structure is formal, almost ceremonial. Every meeting is recorded, every decision documented. This isn't about power, but about preserving the integrity of the lineage and the trust that binds them together. The family operates under a strict constitution, a document that outlines the rules of succession, governance, and financial stewardship. It's a living document, updated only through consensus and deep reflection. The first step is not just about setting up the framework, but about ensuring that every decision aligns with the family's core values. It's about legacy, responsibility, and the quiet weight of history. This is how it begins, a foundation built on trust, tradition, and a deep understanding of the past. It's not just about managing wealth, but about ensuring that the legacy endures. Once the initial reforms are in place, the mechanism begins with the transfer of assets from the private vaults to the new reserve structure. This process is carefully managed to ensure transparency and security. Each asset is cataloged and assigned a unique identifier, linking it to a digital ledger that tracks its movement and ownership. This creates an unbroken chain of accountability. The assets are then secured within a centralized, state-of-the-art facility designed to protect against both physical and cyber threats. This ensures the integrity of the reserve. The reserve operates through a network of authorized entities, each with specific roles and responsibilities. This distributed model minimizes risk and enhances operational resilience. Finally, the system is monitored in real time by a dedicated oversight committee, ensuring that all transactions and movements remain within legal and ethical boundaries. The clever twist lies in the redistribution of power through a tiered council system. This ensures no single entity holds absolute authority over the reserves, creating a balance that protects the integrity of the system. Each tier is composed of representatives from different regions, industries, and disciplines. This diversity ensures that every perspective is considered, and no decision is made in isolation. The highest tier, known as the Council of Guardians, acts as the final arbiter. They review all major decisions and can override lower tiers if they believe the broader interests of the reserves are at risk. This structure allows for swift local decision-making while preserving a layer of oversight. It's a system designed to evolve with the needs of the reserves, rather than being rigid and outdated. The clever twist is not just in the structure, but in the philosophy that underpins it. That power, when shared and balanced, is more resilient and less prone to corruption. Beneath the layers of political and economic narrative, there is a quiet, scientific rhythm to these reforms. It's not just about wealth or power. It's about the intricate balance of ecosystems, both natural and financial. The reforms are designed like a well-calibrated system, where every action has a measurable outcome. They mirror the way natural systems adapt, deliberately, with foresight, and with an eye on sustainability. There's a measurable impact on resource distribution, not just in the economy, but in the way energy, information, and capital flow through society. It's like observing a neural network in action, complex yet precise. The science of these reforms is not in the grand gestures, but in the subtle, persistent shifts. It's about long-term stability, about how small adjustments can lead to vast transformations over time. Ultimately, this is not about control, but about equilibrium, a balance that can withstand the pressures of time and change. It's a science of endurance, of resilience, and of calculated progress. Imagine a kingdom where the ruler is both the crown and the coin, where every decision is etched in gold, and the people are bound to the throne by the weight of history. Now, picture the same kingdom being reshaped by a new decree. Its foundations are still strong, but the currency is reimagined, and the people are given new tools to navigate the world. The crown still holds power, but now it's not just about lineage. It's about legacy, adaptability, and the quiet revolution of rethinking what it means to be part of a system. This is not a story of collapse, but of transformation, where the old symbols remain, but the new purpose is slowly being written into the very fabric of the kingdom. So, in the end, the analogy isn't about the monarchy. It's about the systems that shape our lives, and how they can evolve without losing their meaning. Before you go, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell us in the comments what you'd like us to make next. We read every single one. Thank you so much for watching. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end.